Hey, welcome back. I'm Todd Smith with another video teaching you how to make money and achieve financial freedom with real estate investing. Over the years, I've been blessed to teach tens of thousands of investors from newbies to millionaires, so I know I can help you too. But before we get into today's topic, if you haven't done so already, I just want to remind you to check out my free 90-minute online training class about how to buy houses without cash or credit at realestateCashflowSecrets.com. I'll put that link and maybe some other resources in the description for this video. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button below this video. And for some reason, YouTube made it harder. So after you hit subscribe, you got to hit the bell and then you got to hit all to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the money-making information that I have to share with you, because I do upload videos regularly. Fair enough? All right, let's get started. In this video, I want to deal with the question of, in addition to education, what other costs do I need to take into account for my real estate investing business? So first of all, as you know, I teach that you can buy houses without cash or without credit, right? So you can buy houses without cash, but there will be some costs in order to run your business more effectively. So the first and most important thing is marketing, right? Because you got to market to find properties to buy that are going to be good deals, otherwise you don't have a business. Right now, there are a lot of marketing things that you can do for free, but there are other things that are going to cost. And when you get started, if you're strapped for cash, then yeah, you should be looking at free marketing methods. All right. So just to throw out a few free marketing methods, there's things like driving for dollars, right? So you obviously got some gas costs in that, but guess what? Even if you don't have a car, there's nothing to prevent you from walking around neighborhoods and looking for vacant houses, right? So that's what driving for dollars is. You're going around looking for vacant houses or houses that may fit your investment criteria. And so you can do that walking if you don't have a car. So there's basically no excuses, okay? Whether you have money or you don't, there's basically no excuses. Another thing you could do for free, obviously, is you can look on sites that have houses for sale by owner sites. As of right now, the biggest one being Zillow.com, right? That's perfectly free. Just go on Zillow, type in Zillow.com and start looking for houses. Type in for sale by owner websites into Google and find people that you can contact on the phone. Those are things you can do for free. Now, things that you would do that would cost money for marketing, maybe you're sending out letters, you got to mail. Postage costs money, a paper costs money, sending out postcards, right? Again, you were dealing with postage, so that costs money. If you're dealing with bandit signs, right? Signs cost money. So these are just some things that you need to budget how much of this activity you're planning to do for the month or for the week, and you set that money aside, and you got to go get another job or a part-time job in order to feed your marketing budget. It's definitely well worth it. Find a part-time job, whatever you got to do, or maybe work some extra hours on your job, maybe do some overtime or something like that, and that's how you can get your business started when you're strapped for cash. So again, marketing is the number one thing that you need to look at as far as additional costs other than education. So I said other than education, right? So you can start out with free education, but eventually you're going to want to move on to some paid education to get more detailed and comprehensive instruction. All right. So now that you've got your marketing in place and you've got all these deals coming at you, guess what? You're going to need to determine property values. There are free ways to determine property values. You can Google property valuation or property valuation websites to determine property values. You can Google things like that. So to date, I have not found a free resource that I love, okay? There are some free resources out there, and some of them are fly-by-night. Some of them, they get changed all the time. They may work well, they may not. So I suggest paying for information. So you want to find a source. You can find property valuation software. You can Google that. So you'll find stuff that's free if you Google, and you'll find stuff that's not free. And you want to look closely at the stuff that's not free and set aside some money. How much is that going to cost? As of right now, I've seen costs maybe around $1,000 a year, give or take. Okay, so that's basically what you should be willing to spend to determine property values. And if you have to spend a little more, the bottom line is well worth it. It's well worth it. Now, there are realtors that will offer to do this service for free to give you comps, as we call them, comparable sales data, which is sales that are comparable to the house that you're interested in potentially buying. Realtors will offer to do that for free, but they're going to get burned out because they work for commissions, and if you're not buying enough houses from them, they're going to get quickly burned out, and they're basically going to not even want to see you. They're going to start avoiding you in public and start avoiding your phone calls. So it's actually going to be hard to convince a realtor that you would like to get the information, but you want to pay for their time, because they're taught that they don't get paid for their time, right? So what I would suggest is maybe finding because the best information is from the MLS, because typically the beauty of the MLS is that it has comments in there by the realtors. So the realtors have been inside these houses and they're making comments in the comments section. When you buy software services from other places, typically they're not going to have any comments because nobody's been inside the house. They're just dealing with public records information. So the realtors have actually been inside the house. They've taken pictures and everything, and they actually know a little bit about the house, and they know a little bit about the sellers. So they can kind of give you some inside information if you can get access to that information. So what I would suggest is maybe working out a deal where you can pay a realtor for their time to give you comps on a regular basis when you need them, without any strings attached, whether you're going to use them as the realtor on the deal or not, right? Because if you have the access to the information, and maybe you can use them, but the point is you're paying them for their time. I don't want you to get in a situation where the realtor's getting mad at you because you're not buying any houses through them and they're not getting their commissions. The amount that they get paid for their time has to be satisfactory. And there's a lot of realtors out there who are starving. They're not making very much money as a realtor, so if I was you, I would look for a realtor who's not making very much money, not a very successful realtor, so it's probably going to be a part-time realtor, not a full-time realtor, or it could be a full-time realtor that's not making money or not making very much money, and they'd like to make some extra money by doing comps for you. So I would definitely be willing to pay for that service. All right, goes without saying, in this day and age, you should have a cell phone and you should have a laptop, right, in order to conduct business. Cell phone, you got to have a way to communicate with people, and you should have a laptop also. I prefer doing most of my work on my laptop. Now, if you don't have a laptop, guess what? In the United States, thank God, you can go to a library and use computers free at the library. So God bless America. There's no excuses. All right, I know a guy who makes millions and millions of dollars, and he got started going to the library, educating himself on YouTube, and building his business online using computers at the library. Now, a couple other costs that you want to look at is an answering service and voicemail. Again, these are costs that you can add on later once you start making some money. But yeah, answering service, when sellers are calling me, I don't want to talk to them. I want them to be pre-screened by my answering service, because I might be out enjoying myself or conducting seminars or whatever, and I got 24-hour live answering service to take my calls. And then a lot of times when I'm dealing with buyers, I want them coming to a voicemail service, not a live answering service, but a voicemail service to capture those calls. Now, as your business grows, another cost that you might want to look at is start looking at outsourcing some of your tasks. In the beginning, I think you should do all your tasks yourself, because you need to know how to do the tasks. You need to know the steps of the task before you can even outsource it to somebody. If you can afford a part-time assistant, you probably don't need a full-time assistant, but just start with a part-time assistant. Start getting rid of some of the tasks that you don't like. A lot of times a bottleneck in the business is, hey, you know what, I don't feel like doing that task. Hey, I don't like calling people on the phone. If you don't like calling people on the phone and you've got enough money to afford to pay somebody else to do it, pay somebody else to do it. All right. So you can get a part-time assistant, or there's so many sites online now that you can outsource to people. So you can just type outsourcing websites, best sites for outsourcing. Type that into Google and you'll get suggestions, and you can study those sites, see how they work. Now, the thing is, a lot of these outsourcing places will be overseas, so you have to make sure that they fit the task that you want. If you're going to have them talking to people on the phone, you got to take accents into account. Maybe that's not a big deal to you, maybe it is. Even people in the Philippines that speak English, they have different levels of accents, so that may or may not be a factor for you. But there's so many tasks that you can outsource online. Personally, I like to have an assistant that I can personally be there and manage and see what they're doing and change stuff on the fly without a lot of waiting for communication. But that's just me. So again, you look at different tasks that you can outsource, and or having a personal assistant that you can outsource things to. And again, it doesn't have to be a full-time assistant. It can be a part-time assistant, so that you don't start getting in the red because you're trying to pay out a lot of money and you haven't bought a lot of houses yet. So these are costs you might want to take into account when you're building your business, and you add on costs. Start free and add on costs as necessary. Hey, thanks again for watching, and don't forget to check out any additional resources that I might have for you in the description section of this video. If you like this video, then show me some love with a heart on Facebook or thumbs up on YouTube, and leave a comment below to let me know how the video helped you. If you have any real estate investing questions, go ahead and write those in the comments below, and it just may become the topic of my next video. If you know anybody else that might benefit from this video, then go ahead and share it. Be sure to check out my upcoming videos, and until next time, may all your parents have rich children, and may all your children have rich parents.